definitely the busiest spot here in New York for sandwiches. I mean, top of the line quality stuff. Everybody's been telling me to come here. I've been passing by it for years, but we're about to see what the fuss of this place is all about. Now, what is the key to a good sandwich, right? I mean, first of all, you need incredible meat, all right? That's why when I'm going to be making my sandwich at the house, we're going to be using Sahlens sliced beef for this. But we're actually going to make it different. I think we're going to do something with either their turkey or their ham. I haven't decided yet. But I figured I'm going to show you what a classic sandwich shop is here. This is probably considered one of the most New York's famed sandwich stores. So we're gonna kind of see what the fuss is about. Everybody always says get the roast beef, so it's about to come in. We're probably gonna take it to the car because there's nowhere to sit out here, and we're gonna review it and see what the fuss is about with this sandwich. So there are some small places like that where we're forced to do reviews in the car. So, and plus there was way too many people over there. It was way too noisy. I couldn't get any sound out of that. All right, so my hero, located on Merrick Road in New York, on the borderline of Belmore and Merrick. All right, the first rule of thumb for me is that you got napkins in the bag. Right away, you lose points if you don't have napkins, okay? We got the napkins down. This is the classic deli wrap, okay? Sandwich looks good. Even though I told them white American, they gave me yellow American, but that's cool. It tastes the same, basically. Roast beef, nice and rare. Take a look at that. I'm not eating any sandwiches that doesn't have rare roast beef. Nice and juicy. Bread looks fresh. I like the lettuce shaved. Tomatoes, basic stuff. Okay, you got your mayonnaise on there that I asked for. That's a good quality roast beef right there. What I look for with roast beef, again, I'm not opposed to it being a little bit overcooked, but the thing about roast beef is it has to have flavor and it can't be dry. And there are ways that you can put it in a brine. Like there's a sham, a cooking sham, where you can take the roast beef and cook it for 12 hours. And it's completely overcooked as far as I'm concerned, but it's tender. It's fall off the bone. I'm like drooling thinking about it right now. As soon as you put it on a slicer and you slice this baby, I mean, it is succulent. And you know, you're talking about cooking a protein at a very low temperature, you know, probably like 180 degrees or something like that overnight, 200 degrees, what have you. It's sat in a brine. You leave it in a liquid brine for a little while, and then you cook it. You cook it really slow. And it is fall off the bone. You probably lose about 30% of the beef, just because, I mean, there's so much liquid that leaves it. But for some reason, it stays super juicy. So I've had roast beef sandwiches like that before in the past. So it doesn't necessarily need to be rare. I just prefer that it is. And then a good quality beef it has to be in the sandwich as well. Let's go down and see what we got. Okay, the sandwich is very good. The bread is amazing, amazingly fresh. Not the fake taste, like you go to a lot of these franchise sandwich places now, and that bread, and you've read the reviews, right? I mean, they're putting like all sorts of things in their bread to make it stay like really soft. But this is like real bread. If you make real bread, then you know that this bread is amazing. You know the taste of good quality bread. Good amount of mayonnaise on a sandwich too, that can kill it. I don't like to bite into bread and the mayonnaise fall over it's okay with oil getting messy, but definitely not mayonnaise. Let's go in for another bite. One of the reasons why it's such an art to make a sandwich is because you don't want an overpowering amount of things on your bread. You don't want, 1 pound of cheese and 4 ounces of meat. I've seen it. This is really how it's supposed to be. You got a good amount of meat on there. You got a few slices of cheese, nothing crazy. The lettuce isn't falling all over the place. The lettuce is not making the sandwich. It's just adding an extra crunch in there. And I think too many people overpower and put way too much lettuce on there, and they do that because they're not putting enough meat. This place definitely did not skimp out on the meat. I mean, this sandwich is kind of heavy, by the way. And you have your tomatoes, sliced tomatoes. Really good. Could be a little bit more ripe, but that's fine. And the bread is really killer. Got some nice soft bread here with no crispy top. I'm not a fan of a crispy top with a hero bread. If you're gonna crisp the top, the whole sandwich has to be toasted. But this is looking good. All right, this was a really good sandwich. Definitely worth the challenge. We're gonna head back over to the kitchen. We're gonna whip up an incredible panini. I'm talking about a lot of oil on this baby, not mayo. On focaccia bread that I made last night. Don't miss this one. Taste this. Hey guys, Chef Joe Ciminera. Now we're going to take Sahlens turkey and we're going to slice it thin, or in this case it's actually comes sliced thin. You can put this on the slicer. This is their whole jumbo package here, but it comes in slice. And then I made some delicious focaccia bread last night. Put some grated Parmesan cheese on top. I like to use day-old bread when making sandwiches, so it's a little bit more airy. All right, so let's get started. There are some true benefits for using focaccia bread when you're making a pan bagna or any type of panini press. And a lot of people think, well, I'll use the bread that I make the fresh that day. And it really comes out better when you're pressing a sandwich, day-old bread. I had to make this yesterday in anticipation and knowing I was going to do a sandwich show today. And you've probably seen my other shows on focaccia. I have at least 2 or 3 of them out there. And basically, the secret to my focaccia is I let the dough rise 3 times. So I'll knock it down with my fingers. As you can see, there's finger indents and prints in there. Let it rise again. I'll knock it down again. This is all like a 4-hour process. I'll knock it down again. Then I'll put some fresh sun-dried tomatoes on there. Some, in this case, I got some oregano, dried basil, stuff like that. A little brush of olive oil. Bake it in the oven. When it comes up, I let it cool, then I throw the cheese on top. The cheese is such a good component to whether you're eating focaccia bread plain or you're taking this sandwich and you're gonna do some things to it on the stove. So without further ado, let's slice open this. And we want an even cut, so we got about a 1/2 inch on top, 1/2 inch on bottom. And we're just gonna take this sandwich and move it off to the side right now, the top of this. And then we're going to get started to what we're going to be putting on the bottom here. We're not going to put too much. We want to put what's going to complement this. This is Sahlens oven roasted smokehouse turkey. This is a turkey breast. And you can get it in a large unsliced beautiful package like this, or you can get it pre-sliced, which is how I like to get it. I don't, we have a slicer in here, but I don't claim to be the best slicer in the world. It's not what we do. We make sandwiches here, we don't slice. So it's good that companies like this already can give it to you pre-sliced. So definitely check it out. What's good about this turkey that's probably better than any turkey that I've tried is it's truly smoked with some incredible ingredients in there. They don't list. I don't know what their secret is exactly, but it's definitely one of the better turkeys that I've tried around. So check them out. Go to their website. We're going to have that on the screen here, which you can search for and stuff like that. So we're going to put a little bit of hot Texan sauce mustard on this, and it's got a whole bunch of things from jalapeno in there to red chili peppers. It's got a whole bunch of good stuff in there. What we're going to do is we're going to line the whole bottom of this, and then we're going to make it sweet. We're going to put either some honey or syrup. We'll see what we're doing when we get there. Now, you don't want a situation when you're putting this sandwich on the stove, you don't want a situation where you're going to have to push this thing down because you have too much liquid or you have too much mayo, so it's just going to ooze to the side and go outside the pan. We don't want to do that, which is kind of why I like the sandwich I just tried at My Hero, because I felt that it was just enough to where I wasn't saying, hey, I feel like I'm being cheaped out. That particular sandwich, I think a full sandwich is about 10 bucks. So I didn't get that feeling. But, you know, you definitely don't want to be in a situation where it's just full of mayo and full of, you know, mustard or whatever you're going to put in there. So we're going to line this up with this mustard. We have a little bit of pickle relish in there as well, which is going to go good with the smokiness of this. And then what I like to do, this is just, even though we're not using these artichokes, I love to use artichoke oil and juice. So it goes a long way. Just put some on top there like that. We're going to do the other side of the bread as well. And now you got a really nice piece of bread going in there. Now with the turkey, you never throw it flat down. You want some air in there, okay? Which is why we take the turkey. Oh man, just the smell of this turkey is incredible. You get really a nice smoky flavor in it. It's not overpowering either. You know, you see some of the smoking. Okay, so unlike a lot of sandwiches, I like a lot of meat. That was like the minimum amount of meat I would require on my sandwich. If you go to Italy, they give you like one slice of meat. They don't make sandwiches like they do in the US. They're flavorful, but they're definitely not going to get you full. All right, so we're good. We got, that's kind of what we want. That's what we're looking for. And then what we're going to do is put another component on the top of this thing. We're going to season it. And of course you need cheese. Today we're going to be using mozzarella cheese because I like how mozzarella melts. And especially using something like Polio is a good cheese to use. Okay, we're gonna put that honey on top just like that. And you can almost see it all coming together right now. And all it needs is a little bit of heat, a little crisp, and we are golden. We're in the Golden Gates, folks. Okay, now on the top, we're gonna do something we didn't talk about, but I just looked in the refrigerator, and we're gonna put some incredible blue cheese over this. Gorgonzola, blue cheese. And again, try not to put it where it's gonna go over the sides of the plate, but this is where it's at right here. You have to know that anything smoky goes great with blue cheese. The mozzarella is sort of a neutral cheese. It picks up the flavor of what you have going on. If I added a Swiss, if I added a Munster, if I added another different kind of cheese, it would take away the flavor of the turkey. I'm not looking to do that. Now we have our bread we talked about, the top. We're just gonna see, we're gonna put all that, what we got is a combination of brine, combination of vinegar. We have some dried herbs in there as well. And we have the flavor of the artichokes. I don't necessarily want to bite into a piece of artichoke and then have it pull out, you know, and ruin the whole sandwich. Okay. And we're definitely going to push down on this. You can do this with day old focaccia. And then we're going to bring this over to the pan that's hot right now, add some oil, and we're going to make our pan bagna. Okay, now we got a good quality copper pot here. You can see it's full. Okay, you don't want your pan ripping hot. You want it on a low to medium heat, and you're gonna add, you know, there's definitely gonna be a good amount of olive oil here, folks. All right? Yeah, it looks like a lot, man, but when you taste this sandwich, it's incredible. All right, now, we got our monster sandwich here. We're gonna go right down in the pan. Try not to get anything dripping yet, because there's going to be quite a lot of pressing we're going to be doing. Now, many people may remember the Julia Childs show, which I was lucky enough to be a guest on. She made pan bagna on the show that I was with her. And she talked about how when she was in France, she would love the fact that the pan bagna would just stick, you know, just rip out all those flavorful oils. Because that's exactly what essentially you're doing, is you're just gonna get all those incredible flavors out of this. Now, if you notice the sizzle there, folks, that's kind of the sizzle that you want. We're not in no rush with this sandwich. We wanna take our time. We wanna make it look nice. We want it crispy on both sides. And we're gonna actually be flipping this over on the other side. Now don't be afraid to give the top some oil as well, because it's only going to drip down into the side of this too. And again, as I mentioned to you, this is a very, very oily sandwich, but probably one of the most delicious sandwiches you're ever going to have in your life. Every now and again, just make sure it doesn't stick. It shouldn't. You see it coming off pretty easy, but you just early, the better to do this early than to do it late and not be able to flip this over, because flipping it over is kind of important. But we got a little while to go. The cheese hasn't even melted yet. And keep your sandwich in shape here. Don't let anything fall out of the sides. Now, this is an art, folks. This is not, you know, we're not running into My Hero and getting a hero real quick. This is it's another stage, just a different kind of sandwich. Don't be afraid to sort of take your pan by the hand too and give it a wiggle. Right? Make sure that's off to the bottom there. But when we start to see some of the heat come up from the bottom of the pan into the meat and start to melt, see, as you can see, the side of this is already melting. Then we're gonna flip it over. We'll flip it over again, and then kind of see where we're at this point. It's gonna be like a dipping sauce. Now take a look at this. We got the flavor of the smokiness from the actual turkey itself dripping into the pan. We got melting of the cheese. Now we got two different kinds of cheese in there. One's going to add feta, but actually, if you count the cheese on top, we got 4. Wait till you bite into that, man. And when we do flip that over, we're not leaving it over a long time. We don't want that cheese to burn, but we do like the sizzle and we like the drip. Sneak peek here. You see how crispy that's looking? That's nice right there. We got a way to go. As long as it's not sticking down, no rush. We will get to the point of eating this. Okay, we flipped it over. I hope you're using like a really wide spatula for this, folks, when you do that. All right, look at where we're at. Look at that. We got a little while to go still, but you see what I'm talking about. Got all the flavor in there. And the same thing applies. You know, you want to make sure that this thing does not stick to the bottom. Move it around a little bit. Yeah, I'm not going to do it every 5 minutes, but it's looking good. All right, now is our next bathing of oil. We'll put some more oil on this baby. Don't worry. It looks like a lot, but it's going to soak into the bread, be flavorful with the whole process here. Now we're going to cut this baby into 4s. Yeah, well, you could definitely let this rest out a little bit if you want. I went right into it. So. That is a juicy sandwich. That is juicy. Let's take it to the table and wrap it up. Okay, we're wrapping it up. Man. We did a lot of things here, a lot of steps, but your sandwich is going to come out just incredible. I mean, mine is just, I want you to take a look at the inside of this thing. This is a sandwich. The greasier, the better. This has got everything. Look, the sandwich is held together, right? We got it melted enough to where it keeps the sandwich together, but every now and again, you see that piece of cheese there? It didn't melt. That's just going to be flavor. If you turn it around on the bottom, look at that. You got blue cheese melting. And my friends, there is no like clean way eating this sandwich. A pan bagna is loaded with oil. Now I didn't put butter in there, but when I was in south of France in Lyon, they always put butter in there, but I feel that the American butter tastes different from the European butter. The European butter tastes like oil, but the American butter just reminds me of popcorn. So it's a different flavor profile. So and you don't really see that many people that make this in the US add butter. So I certainly don't. But let's just recap. The focaccia bread was made last night, and day old bread is good for this. Could you do it with anything else? Well, you have to do it with a flat bread. And I you know, Texas toast might be good, something like that. Would I do it with an Italian bread? No. The Italian bread is not, it's not gonna heat up evenly. You know, it's not gonna press really good. You want a good pressing bread, it's gotta be flat. You know, don't overdo it. Put some simple ingredients. Start with obviously the incredible turkey here from Sahlens, and then you can work it out from there on, you know, as far as what you want your palate and stuff like that. I will tell you, as we did this off camera, the camera guys know what I'm talking about with this because they ate it. I made a turkey and Swiss pan bagna yesterday in the studio kitchen, and everybody went crazy. And I said, yeah, I'm gonna do that again. And then I looked in the test kitchen refrigerator and we had no more Swiss. So I had to move things around a bit, but I'm actually more happier with this one. I'm sure everybody else will be. Well, thank you for watching this fun-filled episode of Taste This TV. If you want to learn more information about Sahlens, you know, they've been around since 1869. Great products, not only hot dogs. Everybody knows them as the American favorite hot dog, but check them out for their sliced meats because you will be glad that you did. Remember, there are no rules in cooking. Taste this.